This is the Student Leadership News Podcast.
Hello everyone and welcome back to this episode of the Student Leadership News Podcast. It is Cam back with you today. And today I am joined by a special guest. Hasn't been on the podcast for a while. Welcome to the new year. Who do we have?
Hey, it's Caleb, back with you in 2020. Cam, I appreciate the introduction as a special guest, mate. That made me feel very good.
Well, you're very special. I mean, you are a normal co-host on this, so I don't know why it's like some random thing, but you are a special person, so a special co-host maybe.
Yeah, nice to get the call back. 2020 rolled around. It's now February. Valentine's Day was yesterday. I was getting a bit worried I wouldn't get the call back, but it came through.
Yep.
So we're here, you and I, hanging out. New episode of Student Leadership News Podcast. We've also had a great week this week, Cam.
We have.
You and I have both been on the road for the first time this year, attending various student leadership events, particularly in North Queensland this week, Cam. Have you had a good week?
I have. I've been up in Cairns and Townsville talking to primary and secondary students in those two locations. Where have you been, Caleb?
I've been to Rockhampton and Mackay. So we've been up in the same area, although I believe you have had a few extra degrees of heat. I was feeling sorry for myself because I went out for just a slow, easy run. What I intended to be next to the beautiful Fitzroy River. 2Ks in, it was like I'd run a marathon. Like I was dripping. Like it's so humid that it feels like you're swimming through the air, Cam.
Yeah.
And then I got a text from you and the guys who were with you, and I was worried because it was like 30 something where I was. I think the temperature for you at the time feels like 42.
Yes, it was very warm. And there was, shout out to the students who were up at the events. There was one student who was in long pants and a jacket and everything and was just sweating it out. But they enjoyed it, which is still great. It's been an awesome week, Caleb. We've had a number of students come through. They've all had a great time. We even had a teacher who walked through and after the day had finished and walked through and said, that was 11 out of 10. 11 out of 10. I mean, every word when I say 11 out of 10. So that was pretty good.
Is there possible to get a 12 out of 10? I've never heard anyone say 12 out of 10. They always just go 11 out of 10, 1 over.
I don't even know. But but you know, it is a 12 out of 10 having you back on this podcast, Caleb. So it is good to have you back. Now, Caleb, we've changed the feel of the podcast a little bit. We're into a news kind of podcast now.
I like this.
We're going to bring some of the top three of our favorite news stories since we've last been on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But before we do that, you've got a special game you wanted to play.
That's right. I've got a game. I've got a challenge. You said you were happy to have me back on, but I'm going to set the challenge for you today, Ken.
You always
might not
do
like
this.
me so much after this.
You always do this.
We're going to do a leader, who am I, right? And it's Cam versus the audience.
Okay.
Because you guys are going to hear the same thing at the same time. Cam has no idea who I'm talking about here, and obviously neither do you in the audience.
So everyone's going to be playing along like Family Feud, where it's like the answer's this, and they don't feel the pressure, whereas I feel all this pressure from you to get this correct.
Exactly right. So I'm going to give you some facts. I'm going to start reading some paragraphs that I've got here pre-prepared about a particular Australian leader in this case. I want the audience to see if they can get it before you. If you beat Cam, write in, let us know. But Cam, let's see how you go. I'm going to start reading this out.
Okay.
Here we go. After finishing high school, he started studying at university. But
is it Caleb? Is it you?
Not quite.
Okay.
I don't think I quite qualify as famous Australian leader, but I appreciate that, Cam. So
you're a great Australian leader.
Started studying at university, but felt that it wasn't right for him, so he left to start working at an electronics store. Any guesses so far?
No, you were my best guess so far.
Okay. So I'll give you some more. He enjoyed his work, but being a leader, he knew that many things in the store could be done in a better way. That's the electronics store.
Okay.
He was also passionate about radio and had a license to broadcast programs that he would create. And at the age of 24, he started his own electronics shop in Sydney before opening many others around Australia.
Okay, so this is all sounding very familiar.
Okay,
I think I'm knowing these names, like this kind of story. I've got someone who I think it is.
Okay,
but I want to wait.
You want a little bit more?
Yeah.
I'll give you a little bit. He continuously started successful businesses, Cam. Not just the electronics store. He also started the Australian Geographic stores and a food company.
Okay. Yeah, I think I know who it is.
Okay, have a guess, Cam.
Okay, is it Dick Smith?
It's Dick Smith.
Yes, come on. Yes, come on.
That's correct. Who am I? Complete. Well done, Cam.
I didn't. I thought I had it, and then you said he started some other companies, and I was like, maybe he's talking about the jams. I don't know if he does anything else. I don't know. Maybe you've seen it before, but Dick Smith does some jams. Like
I know. Yeah,
in your Woolworths or your Coles.
The Vegemite aisle innocently, and you see Dick Smith's face, and you're like, hang on a second, shouldn't you be back with the electronics, man? What's going on here? But the man was an entrepreneur, got into foods as well. I was actually hoping that saying he started a food company would throw you off completely. Okay. That's why I wanted to get to that particular. But that's the thing that solidified it for me. Yeah. Without that, I probably would have still been confused. Out of interest, have you tried Dick Smith's Vegemite peanut butter? I think he does a variety of spreads.
Oh, has
you
he?
tried any of the
I've only seen the raspberry jam or strawberry jam.
And have you tried it?
No, I haven't. I only know of it because I used to work at Woolworths, and so I used to stack the shelves, and so I used to stack his jams up. So
you and Dick Smith have had plenty of quality time.
Maybe Caleb. Maybe we're always bad with our food stuff, but maybe we can try the jam in between now and when we're next on the podcast together, because I mean, you still owe me a BLT, but that's totally fine.
Maybe I want to hear if anyone's preferred brand of jam is Dick Smith jam. I don't know if this is still out there. Write us in if that's your favorite kind of raspberry jam to have with your PBJ sandwiches.
Let us know. But for now, Caleb, let's jump in. Let's share with everyone who's listening our favorite articles that we've heard of since the last episode.
3, 2, 1.
Top 3.
All right, Cam. So idea number 1 that we want to share with the guys out there today. I really like this idea, not because it fits necessarily your typical great student leadership idea either. Cam, what's the fanciest toilet you've ever been to? Have you ever been to a really nice toilet?
I think. Well, I don't know if
it's a personal question.
I don't know if I can call them fancy because they're like the toilets that like outdoor, just normal public toilets. But those ones that play jazz music,
yes,
they're fancy.
Shout out to anyone from Byron Bay. You have the best public toilets ever. There's like a voice that talks to you. It says door locked and then jazz music.
And there's like 5 minutes left. It's like, oh no, I need more than 5 minutes. It's like 1 minute left. It's like,
Has anyone? I want to know what happens at the end of the 5 minutes. I'm too scared to wait it out.
It unlocks.
The door unlocks.
I've heard an experience of someone, not me. I have not had this experience. I've heard someone who had not actually heard the voice, and after 10 minutes, the door unlocked.
Yeah.
And someone tried to walk in. They're like, no. Oh. Yeah, terrible experience. Yeah. Anyways. Those are my fanciest toilets, I reckon. Do you have any other fancy toilets?
No, that's right up there. I like the ones that have like the infinity waterfall type hand washing situation where it's just one bench, one continuous 8-meter long marble bench, and the water just flows down it continuously, if you know what I mean. Like that always is a signal of a fancy bathroom.
That is very fancy.
But the bathrooms I want to talk about today, the toilets to talk about today, I haven't been to anything like this. Shout out to the guys from Hallett Cove School, right?
Come on.
Because they have this program called the Student Voice Program where the students can give to the teachers suggestions about how they can make their school a better place. And it's all about making sure that students are guiding what they might be looking to upgrade or renovate or make new things at their school. And one thing that came up in 2019 was that they wanted to upgrade the bathroom. So the guys from Hallett Cove have come back from the holidays to not only just really nice, freshly renovated toilets, but all over the walls and all over the bathroom stall doors and things like that, there are these fantastic wall murals with encouraging sayings and things like that all over it. So like one of my favorite ones is, not all those who wander are lost.
Oh, wow. So deep.
I know. You go into the bathroom.
You're sitting on the toilet and you're just contemplating these deep, nice things.
Exactly. Imagine walking out of the toilet and someone says, how are you? Inspired.
I feel like I'm a new man.
I think that's fantastic. So the guys and the girls' bathrooms at this school, you can check out the photos on the Student Leadership News website. There's a few there. You can click through the original Facebook post where we got this story as well. Yep. A fantastic idea by these students to make the bathrooms, not just a place to escape to perhaps, but a place to feel inspired.
What'd be funny is if all the students went there at lunchtime, just to get more inspiration. They're like, I've had a great day at school, but I want to be really inspired. Let me just duck up to the bathroom. Okay. That's a great story there, Cal. I love that.
Number 1. I like that.
Maybe I'm going to have to do that at home. Start writing messages all around and inspire myself.
I'm sure the guys you live with will love that. If you get a Sharpie out, just start scrawling on the mirror.
Oh, okay. Anyways, the next story, Caleb, one that I've actually really liked, one that you sent me because it was so good on the Student Leadership News website. shout out to any student who goes back to school a day before they have to.
Come on.
Like, shout out to anyone who does
that.
But a particular shout out goes to Northern Beaches secondary students, the year 10 ones, who went back a day early, and not just for like some fun thing or anything like that. They went back to help the new grade 7s who were coming to their school to adjust into the high school life. We all know, getting into high school, getting into a new
campus
space,
for these year 7 students. Yeah.
It's scary. It's like a totally new experience. And so shout out to the grade 10s for doing that. But what they did is they had this day before the school started.
Okay.
They had these grade 7 students come in. They were welcoming them all in. And they actually spent the whole day going through all these new activities that were all designed around helping these grade 7s get into their new environment and kind of feel more comfortable. So they showed them around the school. They showed how accessible it was, how fun it was. And they actually found the whole day really rewarding, which is great.
Year 10 peer students, Paul, giving up their last day of holidays to be there and help out those year 10s and those year 7s, sorry. And I also read in that story, they're also responsible for over the next coming days.
Yeah.
They were also responsible for making sure any year 8s, 9s that were coming to the school for the first time.
8s to 11s, it says.
8s to 11s, there you go. So students that were older than them as well, they were looking out for them, making sure they felt comfortable as they arrived at the campus for the first time.
I think that's so important, there's so many new students who probably turn up to a school sometimes who feel like totally overwhelmed. And if you can show them, make them feel comfortable. I mean, Caleb, you've probably even had this experience. When I went to a school where the same campus was primary and secondary, and so it wouldn't have felt like too dissimilar for me, except on my first day, like in grade 7. I didn't know where any rooms were. It's like, it says
Wait, you
C6.
mean not all my classes are in the same room?
It's like C6. It's like, where's C6? And then it's like H7. It's like, what is H7 in the B block? It's like, what is the B block? Okay.
Why is it called science art room? Like, why can't we just name them what it is?
So confusing. So shout out to those students and shout out to anyone who has started this year off, who's gone out of their way to help students get more adjusted to their school. Continue doing that. That's something that, student leaders can really take a hold of throughout their whole school time. From any grade, they can always look out for students who are new and help them feel more comfortable.
Fantastic, especially because Northern Beaches Secondary College, it was the Manly campus. That's close to a really nice beach. So those year 10s could have been down there at the beach looking out for, I'm a massive Manly Seagulls fan, Cam. I would have been out there looking for maybe some rugby league players hanging out.
I think it's a waste of time because terrible team. But let's not bring our own views into this.
Sorry. Yeah, Broncos. Where'd you finish last year?
Anyways, okay. We'll start our sports podcast on the side. But for now, Caleb, what's the third story? What's this third thing that we've seen that is just absolutely awesome?
Absolutely, Cam. I think you're going to be excited about this one. I don't know if you've actually read this full story yet, but
I read through it a little bit, yes.
Yeah. So the guys from Mowbray Heights Primary School, that's down in Tasmania for those of you who aren't familiar with that area. These guys partnered, get this, with some actual filmmakers. So like using all the gear. And the reason I say you might be excited about this, Cam, you're a filmmaker yourself. You enjoy putting together some videos. A lot of the video stuff that you might see come through Student Leadership News perhaps has had Cam's finger on it. Some fantastic stuff there. But these guys got together with some filmmakers and they created a short film, 9 minutes long, in fact. So we're talking start to finish. They helped decide what the video would be, helped put the video together, and they helped obviously edit it and get it ready for publishing on social media. And it's not just been published on the school website; it's gone on the council website as well. And it's all about celebrating their local area and their local community.
So good. I think, there's lots of different ways that we can do this, but, schools who look outside themselves and want to celebrate where they live is so good because, getting the community involved can not only boost the amount of people you have involved with your events or boost the ways that you can do things, but it also is just like an awesome feel. Like if you can get into the community and if you can give back as a school, there's always things that you can do as student leaders. You can look outside yourself. But this particular, I love this. Creating a video, they called it it's on the City of Launceston page.
Yes, that's right.
Over
Check it out.
400 reactions, Caleb. Over 400 reactions. Good. That is awesome.
And you know everything that goes into making a video like that, Cam.
Yeah.
That's an involved process, right?
It is very involved. But shout out to those students. And actually the video if you go to studentleadership.news and look for the article that's titled Mowbray Heights Primary School, students create a short film to celebrate community. If down the bottom of the article, you can actually find a link to the video there.
Worth checking out as well.
It's very worth checking out.
Well, there you go, Cam. 3 very different ideas this week that we've had a look at, but all fantastic in their own ways.
We jumped from bathrooms to secondary students who are helping each other to primary students who had made a film, which is a very great variety. And it just shows that as student leaders, there's so much that we can do throughout the year.
Absolutely. Incredible ideas all over the place. I can't wait to meet up in another few weeks, Cam, and talk about what else comes out. If you're up to something cool at your school, we want to hear about it. Studentleadership.news is the website. Please write in. Let us know. We want to find out what you're up to so we can maybe even give you a shout out on the podcast.
Yep. Feel free to send it in via social media at Student Leadership News or at Student Leader News. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Feel free to leave a review on this podcast or even send us a message via email. We love to hear anything that you guys are doing, and we always love to be able to share great things that students are doing.
Absolutely. I believe we're both hitting the road again this week. Some more student leader events. So
you're going down to Tassie.
I'll be in Tassie. I'll be looking. I might even meet the Mowbray Heights guys. Who
that
knows?
Would be great.
That would be really cool.
Yep. And then I'll be more in Queensland, so I'm going to see some students from Emerald, Bundy, Maryborough, and then the Sunshine
Fantastic.
Coast.
Maybe they can teach you how to deal with the heat a little bit better.
Oh, yes, it's very hot. But for now, thank you for tuning into this podcast. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Leave a review if you'd like. Otherwise, see you next time.
Bye for now, not for long.
Thanks for listening to the Student Leadership News Podcast. Interact with us on social media and follow the news online at studentleadership.news.